And it is 3:30, so I will call the Muskegon County Board of Commissioners June 9th, 2020 meeting to order. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Vice Chair Foster.
Here.
Commissioner Hovey-Wright.
Here.
Chairman Hughes.
Here.
Commissioner Laring.
Here.
Commissioner Mahoney.
Here.
Commissioner Nash.
Here.
Commissioner Skolnick.
Here.
Commissioner Snyder.
Here.
Commissioner Wilkins. Commissioner Wilkins. Unmuted. I'll show her as absent until she does check in.
On, but her audio is not connected.
Yeah, we see her, we just can't
You
hear
see her,
her. Yes.
so I will count her as here. So there's
And-
nine present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and I will ask Commissioner Wilkins if she will give an invocation, please. Turn your mic on, turn your mute so that you can speak.
She is unmuted.
Williston, can you turn your volume up? Commissioner Nash, would you give us an invocation, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Dear God, we come to you today. We just ask that you be with us as we deliberate over the business of the county. We ask that you lead us and guide us. And we ask a special blessing over this county and over this nation and over this world, that we can come together in unity so that we can solve the issues within our community for all the citizens and all the people around the world, so we can live in more harmony together as you would have us to do. We ask that you guide this meeting, let our decisions be sound for our citizens and our community, and let us do this in peace and in harmony. These blessings we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Commissioner Skolnick, would you lead us in that, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States
of America.
and to the
And to the
republic
republic
which stands
which it
stands,
one nation,
one nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty
with liberty and justice for all.
for all.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Next on our agenda is approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Or
We have a motion by Commissioner Hovey-Wright, second by Commissioner Nash. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call on approval of the minutes, please?
Commissioner Hovey-Wright.
Yes.
Commissioner Laring.
yes.
Commissioner Mahoney.
Yes.
Commissioner Nash.
Yes.
Commissioner Skolnick.
yes,
Commissioner Snyder.
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins. Vice Chair Foster.
Yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Yes.
8 yes, 1 absent.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next on the agenda is approval of the minutes of June 3rd.
So
That
moved.
was our special board meeting.
Support.
We have a motion by Commissioner Foster, second by Commissioner Mahoney. Is there any comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call approval of the minutes, June 3rd?
Commissioner Laring.
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney.
Yes.
Commissioner Nash.
Yes.
Commissioner Skolnick.
yes,
Commissioner Snyder.
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hooray.
Vice Chair Foster.
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey-Wright.
Yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Yes.
9 yes.
Thank you very much. That motion carries. Next, we have two presentations. Is Kathy Moore here? Kathy, are you with us? How about Rich Warner?
I
How about we
saw
move on?
Rich.
Yes. Yeah,
Rich,
can you hear me?
hi.
This is Rich.
Yeah, we can hear you. We're looking for some
Excellent.
information on flooding.
Yes, I have a little bit.
All right.
Your update for today is we had 65 major categories for the houses. Out of those 65, we had 36 that returned pictures with their damage to prove that they had more than 18 inches of water in their basement. We had 22 that did not report with pictures. And I had 7 of them that once they reported with pictures, they did not qualify in the major category. It does appear that we are going to qualify for SBA. The report is being sent up to the state today for them to send it to the SBA for them to look at it and say, yes, we'll be coming. Other than that, we've spent a lot of hours on this, gathering all the data, all the pictures, doing all the uploading, but we're getting there. It's a long, drawn-out process. That's something that doesn't happen overnight, and but we're getting there. Anybody have any questions for me?
Rich, I have a question. Are you addressing any of the issues of people whose homes are threatened with falling into the lake, the big lake?
No, that's a whole different issue. That's not part of this funding source.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's not even covered under the Public Act 390.
That's the answer that I thought I was going to get. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair, I have a question. Rich, so if they qualify and say there's $100,000 worth of damage, so they would qualify for a loan from the Small Business Administration, is that correct?
That is correct. What the Small Business Administration will do is they will give you or let you apply for a loan for up to 40% of your fair market value, regardless of what your damages are. That's what they will loan you up to 40% of your fair market value.
Okay, and what if you've already got a mortgage on the house?
It doesn't matter. I equate it to a home equity loan. I don't know what the interest rates are, but that's what I'm equating it to. It's basically another mortgage.
So, well, here's where I'm leading with this. I suspect most people can't afford that.
Yes, you're right. That's what I've been hearing. My gut feeling on this is very few people will take advantage of it because it's a loan and they have to pay it back. There was some bad information out there that said that we were going to get free money, and that is so far from the truth. This is the best we're going to get.
Okay.
I was told today that if we qualify for SBA, everybody will qualify regardless on the extent of their damage, which I was not aware of that. I thought it was only the major category houses, but it takes the majors for SBA to even come in and consider us. But once they consider us and say yes, then everybody's available for the loan.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Madam Chair?
Yes, go right ahead, Marcia.
Yeah, so how many homes do we need that have major flooding issues to qualify for the SBA?
We had to have a minimum of 20. We had to have a minimum of 25.
Okay.
I sent 65 in, but like I said, there's 36 that have pictures that we can confirm that's the evidence that they had more than 18 inches of water in their basement. And also what happens there when they have that 18 inches of water or more, typically their water heater and their furnace has gone bad too, and that's other classifications that they have to have in order to be qualified. You have to get 2 of them, 18 inches of water and a furnace bad now, a water heater bad, and there's a few other things also in there that they could qualify with, but they have to have at least 2 of those categories.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Rich. I really appreciate it. Now we will move on. Is Kathy Moore available?
Yes, I am, Commissioner. Thank you very much. My apologies for the delay. I had to reboot and re-sign in. COVID-19 report. The most current profile as of yesterday, 6/8, we have a total of 697 cases, and we are at 40 deaths. If you notice on the screen, of the 40 deaths, 18 are in the age category ages 80 plus, 10 60 to 69, and 7 70 to 79. We're still seeing proportionately more female positive for the virus than male, but death-wise, more male than female. Disproportionate to our race population, Blacks, again, and we are starting to do a better job collecting the Hispanic, non-Hispanic information, and we are also seeing that the Hispanic population has been impacted disproportionately to their population in the community. That's the dreadful news. The good news is that our positivity rate is improving. So where we have consistently been at 12 and over 10, we are now under 10% positive for the COVID-19 virus. We've recorded 343 individuals as recovered, meaning they are alive at least 30 days after the diagnosis. We do have the results of the 1,018 tests at the Muskegon Heights Farmers Market over the Memorial Day weekend. There were 16 positive out of 1,018 tests, and 2 of those individuals had already been diagnosed as positive. They were just retesting, I guess, as a double check. We have 5 of those tests that we are still tracking down. So working with the state and the lab, wondering, where our results are. All of the other individuals, the positive individuals, of course, were prioritized with testing and contact tracing. And then all of the negative results the individuals have been notified. The other good news, and I spoke with Commissioner Foster briefly. So Commissioner Foster was at the Muskegon Heights Farmers Market event. He volunteered, thank you. And he said, we should do this over in East Muskegon and his part of jurisdiction. And the National Guard actually reached out to me this afternoon. It was after 1 o'clock today, and said that they'd like to come to Muskegon this weekend. And we pulled together the team really fast. We thought we have 48 additional hours than we did the last time, so we're going to go for it. I've spoke with Commissioner Foster, and we will be holding another community-wide testing event at Oak Ridge schools this weekend, and more details are to follow. And that concludes my report.
And Kathy?
Thank you,
Yes.
Kathy. Yeah, go ahead, Realstein.
Yes, what time is that event? At
We
Oak
have
Ridge? And
Yes, so we have asked the National Guard, instead of a Saturday and Sunday, if we could hold the test on Friday from 5 to 8, and then Saturday from 9 to 3. And they have responded positively. So that is,
okay.
right now, that's our time.
Okay, and we'll need that. I want that address because I'd like to be there.
Yes, so we will
Perfect.
definitely get that out.
Marshall, go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay.
Is that for anybody, anywhere in the county?
It is, yes, it's absolutely
Yep.
for anybody, even young children. And at the last event, we even had a couple of out of county people tested. And because this is Michigan National Guard and Michigan supplies, we don't turn anybody away.
Kathy, of the 16 that were positive, were any of those active cases or were any of them sick?
There were a few with symptoms, but not the major high hospitalization required symptoms. But
Okay.
yes, they did have the headache, the loss of taste, but more than half of them were actually asymptomatic and may even be considered recovered because you shed the virus for so many days even after.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your report, and I'd like to, on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, offer our sympathy in the loss of your father.
Certainly.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And I did receive the flowers. Beautiful, beautiful. He, you know, he was COVID-19 was a contributing factor to his death. And I think the saddest part was that because of the restrictions and limitations, we were not able to see him for many months.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You have my deepest sympathy and all of ours.
Absolutely.
I'd just like to ask a question about the coming up examinations. How many people would you want volunteering? I don't want to get out there and be in the way.
So this is, we really do need volunteers. This is going to be so different from the farmers market who had tables and chairs. We're really going to need some traffic volunteers. We're going to need 20 to 24 per day. And we're hoping that the VFW in the area may be able to help, but we need as many volunteers as possible. So that would be great, Commissioner.
So you can count on me for Friday.
Awesome, thank you.
And you can
Thank
count
you.
on me for Friday too, Kathy.
Thank you so much.
Perfect, thank you very much. All right, we will move on now to public comment on an agenda item. Do I have any members of the public that would like to comment? Please, if you are on a cell phone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9.
I would like to.
You go ahead.
Hi, my name is Rachel Novak, and I would like to comment on the flooding.
Yes, go right ahead, Rachel.
I live in the area across from Pioneer Park. Pioneer Park is located in Laketon Township. Back in the 1970s, the Muskegon County Road Commission had jurisdictions over that park. There's a natural waterway that flows through the ravines of that park. And in the 70s, the Road Commission had put in a drain to allow water to seep through the dune and into the dune and into Lake Michigan. That natural waterway has been blocked by lots and lots and lots of leaves being pushed into that natural waterway by park personnel. It has caused the ravines to back up with water. In my opinion, it has caused the water to back up over scenic and Ford roads and has also raised my water table. We do have an engineer that is going to go out and look at that, but I did want to make the commission aware, as they have jurisdiction over the county parks. I'm looking for the leaves to be removed and to be quit being put into that natural waterway. I believe that it was a contributing factor to losing that beautiful dune. I was there the night that it happened. It was astounding. And I would just like that addressed moving forward with any remediation with Pioneer Park.
Thank you very much. We'll make sure that gets to the right person in charge. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else with public comment? Any other public comment? Mark, do you see any raised hands? I do not.
Sorry, Commissioner.
I don't see any raised hands at all. Is there anyone else that would like to have public comment? That's one more time. Public comment? Seeing none, we will move on. Beth will be giving a public hearing on truth and taxation. So do I need a motion to go into a public hearing? do we just start that?
Yes, go ahead and take the motion.
Okay.
I'll make the motion. We go into a public hearing.
I have a
Second.
motion by Commissioner Foster, second by, I don't know who that was.
Me, Snyder.
Oh, Commissioner Snyder. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call to go into a public hearing?
Commissioner Mahoney,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Skolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Snyder,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Vice Chair Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Chairman Hughes,
Yes,
9 yes.
and that motion carries. Beth, our truth and taxation public hearing.
Thank you. Hear me?
Yes.
Yep, you can hear me? I keep hearing some static in the background, so I'm not sure where that's coming from.
Would everybody please mute their microphone while Beth is speaking?
Thank you. Beth Dick, Director of Finance. And I am here this afternoon to give a presentation for the 2020 Truth in Taxation public hearing. The purpose of this public hearing is to discuss the proposed operating millages for Muskegon County, the Lakeshore Museum Center, Central Dispatch, the Department of Veterans Affairs, and Public Act 39 of 1976, which is known as the Activities for or Services for Older Persons Act. And also just to discuss the uses of the convention facility, also known as liquor tax revenues. The notice of this public hearing was published in the Muskegon Chronicle on May 31st, 2020. The language of the notice is provided by the state and it's required. And it referred to the heading of the notice referred to increasing property taxes, which is misleading. The proposed operating millage rates are actually slightly less than last year due to a Headley rollback impact. And the public notice is normally referred to as an increase because typically property tax revenues are higher than last year due to the inflationary increase in taxable values. Normally, without holding this public hearing, the state would limit our projected property tax revenues to the same amount as last year, thereby forcing our millage rates to go down. This year, the required base tax rate fraction, or the truth in taxation fraction, is 0.9812, which is less than 1, and therefore a public hearing is required to be able to levy at a maximum the same millage rates as last year. Also, without this public hearing, the liquor tax revenues that we receive could not be used for their intended purposes and instead would have to be used for general county operations. With this public hearing, the operating millages will still be slightly less than last year due to the Headley rollback impact. And with this public hearing, liquor tax revenues are authorized to be used for their intended purposes. The estimated liquor tax money the county will receive for this fiscal year is $831,121. For some reason okay, there we go. Half of this must be used for substance abuse treatment and prevention programming. And liquor tax monies can be used to help support public health and Health West Department substance abuse prevention programs. This table shows the impact if we were to not hold this public hearing, how that would affect the county's operating millage. So starting out, the first line is what the Muskegon County's 2019 operating millage rate was. It was 5.6984 mils. You apply to that the reduction fraction for inflation, or the truth in taxation fraction, which was 0.9812. and therefore it adjusts the millage rate down to 5.5912. Then there's also the liquor tax reduction fraction, which calculated to be 0.1740. Subtract that number, and the millage rate would actually be reduced to 5.4172 mils if we were not to hold this public hearing. By holding this public hearing, the rate actually calculates the next line below. You start out with last year's rate of 5.6984 mils, apply the Headley rollback fraction, which ended up being 0.9999, and therefore our current proposed millage rate for the county operating is 5.6978 mils for fiscal 2020, which is still less, slightly less than the 2019 rate, which is at the top of 5.6984 mils. We have not had to reduce our millage rate due to Headley since 2002. That was the last time that we ended up reducing our millage rate. So in order to support various budgets, staff is recommending the board approve the levying of the following millages. The county operating millage of 5.6978 mils to be levied on July 1st. The museum operating millage of 0.3220 mils on December 1st. Veterans operating millage of 0.0751 mils on December 1st, and that pending voter approval was left over from last year. I apologize, that shouldn't be there. Central dispatch operating millage of 0.2999 mils on December 1st, and the PA 39 of 1976 operating millage of 0.4999 mils on December 1st. And that completes my presentation for the public hearing.
Thank you, Beth. Is there anybody that has a question for Beth?
May I, Madam Chair?
Yes, go right ahead.
Beth, how come the Headley had to come into play this time? I'm a little confused on that.
Yes, it's all a matter of a calculation that is required to be done every year. And the way that the Headley calculation is done is it takes last year's taxable value, subtracting our taxable value losses, and multiplies that number by the rate of inflation, which was 0.19% for fiscal 2020. So that's your numerator. And then you divide it by the 2020 taxable value, subtracting the 2020 taxable value additions to come up with your denominator. You divide the two, and if that fraction is greater than 1, then the millage rate would stay the same. But because that fraction ended up being less than 1 at 0.9999, we're subject to the Headley rollback reduction.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anybody else have a question for Beth?
I would make
do I need a
I
motion?
would make the motion that we adopt the proposal.
We have a motion
That
to
actually
approve?
is in your the Ways and Means agenda items.
Okay,
The millage rates are included in there. So this was just the
Oh.
public hearing presentation.
Okay, all right.
Perfect. All right, thank you very much. Then we will move on to committee reports. Courts and Public Safety, Commissioner Snyder, you are up.
Okay, if they could post the agenda, please. Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
oh, could you get me the?
There we go.
The Courts and Public Safety Committee met on June 2, 2020. It was recommended that I move CPS 20/06-21 to authorize the Sheriff's Office to accept the Marine Safety Grant MS 20-67 in the amount of $70,300 for personnel and operating costs for the 2020 calendar year.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Support.
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Foster. Any questions? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Madam Clerk, please unmute.
John, why don't we go ahead and approve, get the
All
other
right,
two on there, and then we'll approve them all at one time.
Okay, I will, next is CPS 20/06-22 to approve the request to apply for $196,200 from the Office of Community Corrections in Lansing for the fiscal year 2021. And the next one is CPS 20/06-23 to authorize the Public Defender's Office to apply for a renewal of the Michigan Indigent Defense Commission grant for fiscal year 21.
And I will
Thank you.
support them.
Thank you, Commissioner Foster. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call on the 3 Public Safety Committee recommendations?
Okay. Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Skolnick. Commissioner Skolnick. Commissioner Skolnick,
Yes, I'm sorry, I was muted.
thank you. Commissioner Snyder,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins. Commissioner Wilkins. Unmute. Commissioner Wilkins, can you hear me on the roll call vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Vice Chair Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
and Chairman Hughes.
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney,
Yes.
thank you. 9 yes.
Thank you, and that motion carries.
And that completes the report of the Courts and Public Safety Committee.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Snyder. Next on our agenda is the Human Services Committee, Commissioner Nash.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Human Services Committee met on June 2nd, 2020. It was recommended, and I move HS 2006-14.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Support.
Support.
We have a second by Commissioner Mahoney. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Skolnick,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Snyder,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Vice Chair Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Yes,
9 yes.
that motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That will conclude my report.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Nash. Next is Ways and Means, Commissioner Skolnick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I read these at the committee meeting. Do you think I should read them again? They're pretty long.
I don't believe you have
Numbers
to.
are just fine.
Okay. The Ways and Means Committee met on June 2nd, 2020. It was recommended, and I move WM 20/06-45, 46, and 47.
So moved.
Support.
We have a motion by,
Support.
we have a motion and a second by Commissioner Hovey Wright. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Snyder,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Vice Chair Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
So the host had muted me, but I did have a comment. I go on 45, and my comment is I would like to have those payments over $100,000 broken down so that we can decide on those individually. Any expenditure over $100,000. So no on 45, yes on 46 and 47.
thank you. Commissioner Mahoney,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Skolnick,
Yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Yes,
That's 8 yes, 1 no on 45, and 9 yes on 46, and 9 yes on 47.
thank you very much, Madam Clerk. And that That motion carries. Thank you, Bala. We will move on to the chairman's report. I have a couple things to tell you about. On Friday, we opened Pioneer, Minor, and Blue Lake Parks to the public for camping. That was a big success. The Getty Drive-In Theater opened with 50% capacity, and they were showing one feature, and the tickets were $5, and the next night they were full. On Monday, June 8th, which was yesterday, Twin Lake, Moore, and Patterson County Parks reopened to the public for day use. There are a lot of security and health protocols in place at all those parks, so things are going very well. Restaurants opened yesterday for dine-in service, and Michigan will resume their bottle and can returns on June 15th. And I would also like to let you know that the people who purchased Brookhaven are in the process of moving forward on that and remodeling the building to either host a nursing home or a medical care facility, that assisted living type facility. So I'm really going to be glad to see that come back into our community. I'm really glad to see them in the anticipation of moving forward there. And that will, I believe that completes my report. Mr. Administrator.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Back to work plan update. We are in progress moving forward, excluding the courts. All other departments who have not brought staff back already plan to on June 15th, the week of. The employees will make sure that they have the right protection in place. And those employees who have worked with their director, unless prearranged with their director, will return to work. There are some that are working from home or working remotely due to the closeness of their office space, and there's just not enough room to do the 6 feet apart, or they may not have the protection in place yet. So they are working with their directors, but for the most part, June 15th, week of, is for the employees. The following week, June 22nd, excluding the court again, we're opening back to the public. As for the courts go, they're looking at July 6th, where it will be open for the return to the court hearings, once they're not during currently. They are obviously moving forward with some stuff now, but to be open back to the courts for the public to come into the courtrooms. They obviously have to wear the protection equipment as required, 6-foot distance.
Excuse me, may I interrupt?
Yes.
I just had a huge tree fall, and I'm going to have to leave the meeting and go out and address that. It's hanging over the wires. It's about a 150-year-old oak, and we've got a little natural disaster going on here. So I'm asking to leave the meeting.
John, please be very careful.
I'll continue with my report here. The Treasurer's Office is going to be having a soft opening June 15th, starting the week of June 15th, due to the fact that they already have the plexiglass up. They've always had that in the last several years, so they're more further advanced than other departments. So they'll be having a soft opening starting the week of June 15th, but the other departments, excluding the court, will be bringing people back the 22nd. Mr. Fair's office is working on making sure there's enough supplies, as well as Rich Warner, for every employee to have their correct protection. And the plexiglass, there are still some on order. They received some yesterday, and they'll start installing that, but we haven't received all of it yet. But our plan is to have everybody have a safe work environment as they return. Any questions on the back to work plan?
Any questions for the administrator? Mark, thank you very much. It sounds like we are well on our way to being up to full speed again. Yes, go right ahead, Commissioner Blaring.
So one, I'm not quite sure how I keep getting put on mute. I don't know if you can answer that for me, Mark. It just happened again. It's happened in previous board meetings.
You're producing a lot of static from your microphone there that everybody can hear. So when we get that, we automatically mute anybody.
All right. So I have an excuse for that. I was outside when I started the board meeting, and I had to go sit in my truck because my iPad overheated. So with the air conditioning blowing on it to keep it from overheating. My comment, Mark, question is, thank you for explaining that. Was that Kathy?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Kathy. I was going to be a little upset by that. So my question is, when do you feel that you're going to be prepared to let go of the emergency powers the board granted you a couple of weeks ago?
I believe that expired last Friday.
Okay.
I looked at my calendar correctly.
Okay. Second is, when will the board come back to doing public meetings? And is there an opportunity that maybe we can, if board members feel uncomfortable entering the courthouse, maybe we could do it at Matt's, or possibly board members could continue Zoom, but can we start to come back to public meetings?
I think that will be a decision the board will make.
So it's not part of the work?
Yeah, may I add to that is there's really executive order from the judge, and excuse me, from the governor as well. At this point, they're still limited to so many people in a space. Right now, they're using 10, but obviously it depends on how big the space is. So our boardroom is difficult to get everybody in that and allow the public to come. And maybe that's something we do Zoom with the public, and the commissioners can come to a location. Matt's putting us all in one room and trying to do Zoom with everybody having their own laptop creates too much static on that. So we haven't found an ideal place yet where we can explore with that. We are, Gary Foster will be bringing up on Thursday the possibility of having a public works meeting in Eagleson Township. And again, we got to figure out how to make that give that back to the public. So the only room that is set up to videotape and provide to the public obviously is the boardroom, but that's too small based on the current regulations set by our governor.
Thank you.
Anything else, Zach?
No, thank you.
Yep, anybody else? All right, we will move on to old business. Is there any old business to come before this committee? Oh, I'm sorry, Administrator, did you have something
No, thank
else?
you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Yes, you are welcome. Any old business to come before this committee? Any new business to come before this committee?
Madam Chair, may I?
Yes, go right ahead, Commissioner.
I just
Foster.
wanted to thank Kathy Moore for truly listening to the citizens and the residents of this county on this COVID.
Thank you, and I think we all echo that. Any other new business? Hearing none, we will move on to public comment. For those of you who have a cell phone, remember you will need to dial *9. For the rest of you, I will be looking for hands that are raised to have public comment. I see quite a few of you, but I don't see any hands raised. Mark, do you?
Madam Chair, I do not see any hands raised.
I do not. Anybody for public comment? I have 47 participants, including all of us, and I have no one stepping forward. We will move on to, are there any final board comments? Seeing none, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Nash, support by Commissioner Foster. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Skolnick. Commissioner Skolnick, this is on the motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Snyder has left us. Commissioner Wilkins.
Yes.
Vice Chair Foster.
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright.
Yes.
Commissioner Laring.
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney.
Yes.
Commissioner Nash.
Yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Yes.
8 yes, 1 absent.
And that motion carries, and we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you Thursday for the Public Works and one other meeting.
Transportation.
Transportation. All right. Thank you.